right, so today we're going to talk about the reasons why you should rent before you own if you're considering doing that. All right, so the first reason you're going to want to rent before you own, or try before you buy, as I say, is we need to know if you even like RVing. There's a lot of money to be spent on one of these with a huge investment. The last thing you want to do is go buy one thinking you'll like it, and then maybe it's not for you or your spouse or your family. So the next thing you're going to want to figure out is what class or type do you want? Do you want a travel trailer? Do you want a Class A, Class B, or Class C? There's so many different kinds to choose from, and we at DFW RV Rentals have nearly every type that you could try. So if you're wanting to decide on maybe a Class A, that's going to be the big tour bus style looking one. So those are usually going to have more space, a lot more storage to put your stuff, a lot bigger slide outs to give you more room. They go as long as 45 feet long. They're usually the most comfortable to ride in, but at the same time, the price is way higher than the rest of them. You may want to go try one before you spend the investment at $200,000+. One that we would talk about is the Class B. So do you want to try a camper van? They're a lot smaller, maybe around 20 foot long. They're very minimalistic, but they're great for an adventure. They're awesome when you don't want to bring an extra vehicle, because you can drive them through drive-throughs. You can go see all the touristy things you want to see. You can go camp at a campground or boondocking off-road if you want. They're extremely versatile. However, they're a lot smaller and not as big for a family. I'd advise you to try one before you get one that small and costly. Again, they're about $80,000 to $200,000. You might want to try one before you buy one. We're going to talk about trying before you buy is a Class C. We actually have a Class C right here. Now this is the smaller variant. They're about 24 feet for this one. They go as long as about 32 foot for a gas one. And if you were to get a Super C, which is about 34 to 40 feet, those are usually on diesel chassis. You could try those as well. Class C's are great for families. They usually have the most amount of sleep space of all the motorhomes that you have to choose from. They're typically the easiest to work on. They can fit in most state parks for the size. Also something to consider if you're doing a lot of state parks. The other thing is they're usually just less stuff to break in general compared to, say, a Class A. But great units. There's lots of rental places that have them. We would highly recommend you try these before you buy, but at the same time, very expensive. Try before you buy. Say maybe you're not looking for a motorhome. Maybe you're looking for some sort of trailer, whether it's a travel trailer or a fifth wheel. Right here's a good example of a travel trailer you might want to try before you buy, because there's so many different floor plans and links and options. But at the end of the day, do you want a travel trailer? Do you want a fifth wheel? You know, there's so many different options, and also it's going to depend on what size truck do you have. You may want to consider that, you know, depending on what kind of truck you want to buy to be able to tow one of these. All right, so the last type of trailer you might want to consider is a fifth wheel. These are pretty much some of the biggest, baddest units out there that are towables. So this type is going to ride in the bed of the truck, whereas a travel trailer is going to pull off the bumper. I would say that if you're just looking for the most space for your family, you may want to try one of these. Now, only downfall to renting, realistically, an RV rental place is not going to let you tow that, because you might not have the right equipment. However, they might go set it up at a campground, and you can try one before you buy one. All right, so the next reason you might want to try before you buy is because of floor plans. There's so many different floor plan options. Let's just pick any type of coach you want. There's bunkhouse models if you've got a big family. There's rear bedroom options where, let's just say you're a couple and you just want a really nice rear bedroom with a huge living space, that might be a really good option. You've got, for the fifth wheels, mid-bunk floor plans where they've got a bunk in the middle of the coach with a bunk bed on top of the room and a lot of space. There's so many different options to choose from, and you need to be able to try it before you buy it, because you might think you go in wanting one floor plan when after you buy it, you realize it might not be as compatible with your lifestyle as you thought. The next thing that we're going to talk about why you want to try before you buy is length. A lot of people think they either want the smaller of the coach or they want the biggest, baddest coach, and sometimes neither of those are the correct fit for their needs. So let's say that you were the guy that wanted the biggest, baddest coach out there. Are you prepared to handle that? Do you know that you can't fit in every single state park? Do you have the right equipment to tow it, or are you prepared to drive something that's up to 45 foot long? These are the questions you need to ask yourself, because the bigger and badder the coach is, the harder it's going to be to back up, to get around, to fit in gas stations, etc. If you're ready to take on that, it's really roomy and really nice if you can spend the price. The other thing that we're going to talk about regarding length is if you buy one that's too small because you didn't think that you needed a bigger unit, what you don't want to do is end up buying less than what you need and wishing that you would have just bought a little more, having buyer's remorse, especially whenever maybe it was within reach cost-wise. Again, try before you buy. You need to know how much space you need for you and your family. All right, so again, Jonathan with DFW RV Rentals and RVing for Dummies. I really hope that this video was educational for you. I hope you try before you buy. If not, it's okay, but we're here to help and answer any questions if you've got any. Thanks, guys.